Greetings. So, February 18th, 2024, we are going to have a very special live show if everything goes right, God willing. We'll have a very special live show on this channel, of course, the Gray Stage YouTube channel. And I'm trying to confirm some special guests for that day. Woo's News said that he would be there. I'm going to ask Catherine. I'm going to ask Dan. I've asked Crip Rick. I'm going to ask the soldier who served with David, Matthew, and if anybody else wants to jump in and join, we will be discussing the very important and strange events of February 18th, 2015, when the police returned to the crime scene. This is their third trip to this crime scene to find another bullet. Item 57, which conveniently is the one that they were missing. Very convenient. The one that they were missing, the one that they could not find, and all of a sudden it's found. The day before, February 17th, 2015, the police speak with Christopher Klein, who was in the house with Mason Hendricks, Sean Wright, possibly Danny August Mason too, Adam Schambauer, possibly Dan Jr., Dan Sr., even though Dan Sr. says he wasn't there. All of these guys are in the house on January 19th, 2015, and see the bullet hole in the ceiling that the police missed too. So when the police leave the house, both times, January 17th, January 18th, January 20th, they do not see a bullet hole in the living room ceiling. Missed it all three times. So now that they are informed by Chris Klein that there is such a bullet hole, they were informed that again on February 17th, 2015. The Apple Valley Police detectives were informed that by Christopher Klein, family friend of some sorts to David Crowley and the family. When the police go back into the house the following day on February 18th, 2015, guess what they find in the attic? As soon as they walk into the house, they notice that there is this bullet hole. There's this not big hole. There's a bullet hole in the ceiling, right conveniently next to where the Christmas tree was, kind of in that area. Then they are able to go up into the attic, and the attic was already, someone had already been up there. The ladder is already up there in David Crowley's master bedroom. You can see those photos when they re-enter on February 18th. The ladder is already set up. Someone was already up there in the attic from the master bedroom. There's two ways to get into the attic, by the way. You can get in through the garage or from the master bedroom. So somebody had entered up into the attic through David Crowley's master bedroom, set up a ladder to get up there through the master bedroom closet, and then come down and do not leave, or do not pick up anything, do not take out the ladder or close up the attic ceiling, right? And so all that's just left wide open for police to go in there. Once again, we have what looks like another staged crime scene where everything is laid out for police to go in there and find it. And they do. They find, not only do they see the bullet hole, when they go into the attic, they find this bullet, item 57. The weight of item 57 compared to the other bullets is very important too. So they find this bullet. It ends up having David's DNA on it, but not David's blood. And there is a difference, and it's a big, big difference, because you would expect if it's the bullet that David shot himself with, it should have his blood on it. All the bullets should have David's DNA on it, if that's the case, right? I mean, if we're looking at, well, it has DNA, so that's it, problem solved. No, it's not problem solved. So that's that's the main thing that we will be covering on February 18th. It is a Sunday. We're going to do it probably around 12 or 12:30 p.m. I will be asking Christian Coffins and, of course, the whole Dark Docs crew if they want to join too. Brendan O'Leary, and Noah Winwood, Noah Westwind. I always get that confused. But I will be asking them if they want to join in this too. And of course, if anybody does want to pop in, definitely feel free to. I would contact Eric Spitfire Wilkinson to join. Hopefully he'll be in the chat, and I will invite him. But just because I'm not on Facebook right now, so that was the main way that I would connect with Eric. Although I do have his email probably somewhere. Maybe I'll shoot him an email too, and Ross, and you know, and like I said, if anybody else does want to join in, definitely feel free to. Danny August Mason is always welcome to join, and anytime he wants to follow through on his request to debate me, we can always make that happen. It's an open forum, open door policy for that debate. And remember, he challenged me. Danny August Mason challenged me. I accepted, and then nothing ever came of it. But we can make that happen. We can make that happen at any time. But it's this strange case about item 57. When it was discovered, when it was found, who found it, who knew that there was this bullet there, who knew, and did Chris Klein even know that there was a bullet? Or was Chris Klein, did he just know about the bullet hole, which makes more sense? But we'll read through some of these things. We'll go back to my book, as I just did a few minutes ago, to refresh my memory, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to write this book, was to refresh my memory, to get all of the factual documentation out there in one nice, easy spot for any researcher to go and look up these questions that they may have periodically from time to time, specifically about anything that is in the police reports, the DNA, what did the neighbors see, what do the DNA results show, etc., based on all of the documentation over 1,000 pages PDF of 3 PDFs, basically over 1,000 pages, over 1,000 photos. I didn't have the crime scene video. There was a lot of, I didn't have any other Tony Floyd stuff when I wrote this book. So there's definitely room for a part 2 at some point. As some of you may know, I'm writing a different book right now. But so Woo's News was on a Twitter Spaces the other day, and with a nice group of people, and they were discussing that. I'll try to leave that link in the description here later on too, for anyone that wants to go and watch that interview or that show. It's about 3.5 hours, and most of it is about David Crowley and the Crowley case. And it's always interesting to get new people to look at it, or to just kind of see what people's knowledge is about this case, or what questions that they have, what documentations really stand out to them, what things really stand out to people when they look at this very strange case. So I will try to drop that, but hopefully a lot of you can join me next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, I believe, February 18th, 2024, and we will go over some of the things that happen in this case. And of course, there will always be any questions. I'll try to keep up with the chat and put the chat on the screen as much as I can, and we will just go from there and keep discussing this case and see what updates, what new questions, and I hope that we can get a nice panel of interested researchers, both past and present, maybe even future too. You never know who may show up. So it'll be quite the experience. And then I'll be chatting pretty soon with Dan Hinnon about when are we going to do the next Gray Stage podcast. I just haven't had time to even really chat with him. We agreed to February, but with this one, it may get pushed back to March. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do want to finish up the Gray Stage podcast and go from there. We will see what happens with that. So it's been quite the journey with this case. 9 years now, a little over 9 years, and it'll be 9 years since they found item 57, the bullet they are able to tie to David, not to David's gun, and not to any blood either, which is questionable at best. So again, I never felt like I was going to be the one to solve the case or break the case wide open. I always felt like, for me, the research, the data, fighting the propaganda, separating what is real from what is not, what is speculation from what is facts. And the facts are very, very clear. And the facts all show that David Crowley is not guilty and cannot be proven guilty. None of this would stand up in a court if they were to try to accuse David of this. The prosecution wouldn't even waste their time with something like this. So because the guy is dead, the authorities get to just say whatever they want and accuse whoever they want and expect that nobody's going to question it. Obviously they know people are going to question it, and instead of doing a lot more work, or instead of being a little more cautious and waiting till all the documentation came out, within 24 hours at best, they were already accusing David Crowley of this crime. And as we know, and they know this, that's not going to sit well with people. That's never a good thing, and it's only going to raise more questions. And it really helps. That is one of the biggest things I believe that's going to help with getting the case reopened, because they rushed to the judgment. We had a lot of researchers looking into it, and the researchers were right. The documentation to support David Crowley is guilty is just not there. It does not exist. It didn't exist January 17th, and it doesn't exist today. It can't. It won't. It will never exist. So instead of just rushing it off and ending it there, what we are going to see one day, if it's God's will, is the case will be reopened. And it will be reopened in order to clear David's name. And then if somebody wants to take David's project and make money off of it, or do whatever they want with it, I don't have any problem with that. I'm not trying to get in the way of people making money. People need to make money. You got to make money to eat, to live. And how you do it, and the actions will definitely let us know the character of that person. For instance, if the actions are to accuse David Crowley, then to attack other people that question David Crowley's deaths, those actions speak very loudly and tell their own story. They tell the story without me even having to say anything else. And it's questionable. Everything is questionable. Now, the thing that we don't want to do is what they did to David Crowley. They accused David Crowley of a crime without any facts, without any proof. I'm not going to do that to people that may be involved with this crime, with these 3 murders, which what I believe are 3 murders. I'm not going to do what they did to David Crowley. I'm just going to let the facts speak. Nothing will be hidden from God. It will all come out. The light will shine, and it will be a bright light that shines. And everybody will know, for a fact, once and for all, nail in the coffin, David Crowley is innocent. That's what's going to matter here in the end. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. God bless you all. Until next time, stay safe.